If it isn't obvious by now, I am a huge fan of Pokemon. Not just the video games, but the anime as well. The Pokemon anime was one of the first anime I've ever seen, with the first episode I viewed being the Lavender Town episode Tower of Terror. I grew up with the 4Kids dub, and their shitty changes. I remember going to an actual theater to see the first three Pokemon movies, and to this day, I still have my original VHS copies of the original Pokemon anime, alongside having seen most of, if not every episode of Pokemon to date. So I am a massive, huge, gigantic, and any other adjective you can think of for big fan of Pokemon. And with that said, why am I telling you all of this? Why am I talking about all of this? Well, for those of you who have been following me on this channel for a minute now, and according to the analytics, that's pretty much everyone, if anyone's even watching this, I've already gone through the Pokemon movies as well as their various specials that have been released to date, not including anything that's coming up recently. Hell, I even did a video about the Pikachu movie, Pokemon I Choose You, the most recent one that came out last year. So I've been thinking about going back to the realm of dealing with the anime. I grew up with the anime, as I stated. It's one of the most important things to me when I was a kid, and I still enjoy the anime to this day, even if it changed networks for the third time in a row, which is kind of confusing. I've also been motivated by other YouTubers or people on the internet, such as Linkar with his comic book reviews, that guy with the Suede Bird on the Slate with his own Pokemon reviews where he talks about the Pokemon movies, at least he did. And then he does a new series now called Suede's Pokemon Journey where he talks about the original 4Kids anime dub, as well as Sets Up the Breeze, who just does reviews of things in general like video games and whatnot. I've been inspired by reviewers, and I kind of want to do my own little review thing, and not having the time to do video games on top of Let's Playing video games, I decided to review anime instead, and why not talk about the Pokemon anime? I mean, it's important to me, so I might as well just do it. On top of that, it gives me another excuse to watch the new incarnation of it in the Sun and Moon anime. So, like everything I do, it's a giant excuse for me to explain why I waste so much time being a gigantic nerd. With that said, I'm most likely not going to go over every single episode of Sun and Moon. If I think an episode is basically nothing more than just pure filler, and isn't entertaining, at least to me at least, I'm most likely going to skip it. And episodes I believe worked well with each other will be flowed into one another for a continuous thing, combined into one single episode of this series, sort of like this very episode here. With that said, I chose the season with the least amount of filler and the most various interesting episodes to watch, so I might end up doing every episode of this series. I don't know, maybe one will drop the ball and I can just skip it, but I highly doubt that, especially at this rate. If you've dropped off the anime over time, this is honestly the best season to come back to. It's different from everything else, but it has the same heart and feel of the original Pokemon anime, well, at least the original Japanese version, not the 4Kids dub if you're going by the dub, and that carries all the good and ills of being a Pokemon anime. So with that said, that's enough of a preamble. Now then, ladies, gentlemen, everyone else, let's delve once more into the realm of the Pokemon anime as we take a look at the Sun and Moon anime. We begin our series with Ash already in Alola. This is odd, as in most series openers, Ash is either headed to or just arriving in a new region instead of already being there. And another interesting note is Ash is in Alola alongside his mom and Mr. Mime for a vacation and not for his ongoing challenge to be a Pokemon Master. We quickly learn that Mr. Mime won the family a vacation, and that's why they're here in the first place. But along the way, they were given another task. While Ash was giving Professor Oak his Pokemon once again, annoyingly, the professor tasked him with delivering an egg to his cousin, Samson Oak. We get a lot of cool shots of the city seeing Pokemon practically everywhere as they head towards Samson Oak's Pokemon school. Ash, being Ash and having a small attention span, chases after a Grubbin as his mom and Mr. Mime look at berries. Running into the forest, Ash catches sight of Tapu Koko and comes across a Beware and runs away like a coward. Managing to leave the forest, Ash found himself inside of a large field, noticing a group of Pokemon alongside their trainers, as well as a track where Tauros are being raced. After almost being run over by a Tauros as well as mentioning his own turtles in a cute reference, Ash remembers what he's actually supposed to be doing and tries to find a Pokemon school. Before being informed he's already there, one of the trainers, Malo, shows him to the principal's office where he meets Sam Sanoke and Professor Kukui, a teacher at the school. After clearing up a misunderstanding about being a new student, handing over the egg, as well as his mom making a joke, some commotion goes on outside where Ash sees Team Skull harass another student. Ash joins in on the battle alongside the student Kiawe, and a beautiful fight scene occurs. I just have to mention I love the fight scenes in this series, and this one is a good sample of what is to come. The fight ends with Kiawe using his Z move, Inferno Overdrive, to beat Team Skull, and sparking Ash's fascination. Ash learns of the island challenge as everyone catches sight of Tapu Koko once again. Later that night, while eating dinner, Ash chases a noise, following it to find Tapu Koko, where it hands him a Z-ring. The next day, Ash seeing Professor Kukui, as his mom and Mr. Mime have returned to Kanto, with the last shot showing Ash running off to Pokemon School. The next episode starts off immediately where the last one ended. We see all of Ash's classmates doing their own little things here and there. Lana is playing with Pomplio, Sophocles is working on things with Togedemaru, Lily and Malo are talking about berries and Pokemon food, with Malo's bun sweet causing Lily to freeze up, and Kiawe is tired from a delivery to Ula Ula Island. Ashton walks in with Kiawe noticing his new Z-ring. Ash proclaims his usual I want to be Pokemon Master dream. Everyone notes the Z Crystal being Electro Z as Ash explains the events with Tapu Koko, with Kiawe and Lily explain that Tapu Koko's nature and how it likes to play tricks and grant gifts. With Kiawe then trying to explain to Ash how Z-ring bearers should engage themselves and Z moves. We then of course get a cute little class scene where everyone learns about regional variants, using Executor as an example. After school, Ash plays down with Professor Kukui's Rockruff as the professor makes dinner and gets a phone call from Malo, talking about Ash's welcome surprise party. The next day, everyone holds a massive surprise welcome party for Ash, with everyone having planned out little games and events. Sophocles holds a balloon popping contest with Togedemaru, while Lana and Popplio have a race, when Kiawe also has another Tauros race. Ash, of course, loses every challenge, and the group has lunch, which is prepared by Malo as her portions to the party. Professor Kukui decides to challenge Ash to a battle to wrap everything up, but Tapu Koko appears and steals Ash's hat. Tapu Koko leads the group into the forest, where it returns Ash's hat and challenges Ash to a battle. In the midst of battle, Ash notices Tapu Koko wants him to use his Z move, teaching Ash the steps to use it as Ash mimics it and fires off a giant Gigalol Havoc. Unfortunately, the blasty attack shatters the Z Crystal and Tapu Koko flies away. Everyone explains that Ash wasn't ready for a Z Crystal or the power of a Z move. We have to decide to take on an island challenge to prove his worth and his classmates cheering him on. That night, Professor Kukui hands Ash a Pokedex and Ash looks forward to the island challenge. We start off our final episode for today to steal joke from Linkara with the real heroes of the franchise appearing. That's right, Team Rocket finally arrives at Alola's airport, with Giovanni having ordered the group to capture Pokemon he's never seen before from Alola. Meanwhile, Ash stands in Kukui's lab as a Rotom appears and wanders into the Pokedex he received last episode. The Pokedex activates with Rotom inside as it scans the room with Kukui instructing it to help Ash. Rotom Dex, I'll start calling it, displays its curiosity and love of knowledge while also taking various pictures of Pikachu and Rockruff. We get some various shots of Pokemon, and later Ash introduces Rotom Dex to his classmates. They each interact with it as Kukui walks in and tells Ash to start some fieldwork and go capture some Pokemon as everyone runs into the forest. Meanwhile, our true heroes, Team Rocket, plan on capturing Pokemon, but they all lament their Pokemon are all back at headquarters once again. This leaves it up to Meowth Wobbuffet to do any battling. The group encounters a Mimikyu and mistake it for Pikachu. Meowth is the first to realize that it's not, as it creeps Meowth out and then later the rest of the group. Meowth refers to it as creepy and doesn't even want to translate its various words. Meowth attempts to fight it and removes the rack, almost dying after it sees its true form. Jesse and James bring Meowth back to life and decide to run away or turn into Ash and crew. They do do their thing and try to capture Pikachu. But of course, Mimikyu appears and, spotting Pikachu, flies into one Red Lantern-style rage and attacks Pikachu. Jessie becomes impressed with his strength, then Team Rocket shows off their new motto, and Meowth charges into battle with Pikachu as well. Pikachu almost takes him out, but Mimikyu helps Meowth out. Meowth explains that it has a deep-seated hatred for Pikachu. Oh dear, this is not going to end well. As the battle goes on, a Beware appears and snatches up Jessie, James, and Meowth as well as Mimikyu, who decides to go chasing after the pair. The episode ends with Ash disappointed at not catching Mimikyu, but Lily reaffirming him that even more Pokemon are in the forest, reinvigorating Ash. They're not going to mention the bear attack that just happened just now. I guess they're not. So how do these episodes hold up overall? If you ask me personally, I say they hold up pretty well. These episodes do a wonder in showing the more easygoing feel for this season. Unlike, let's say, X and Y's opening episodes, which tried to show off some epicness of some grand scale stuff, this one just goes with a simpler, more serial flow, with each of these episodes flowing into another. Now I know a lot of people have been up in there about the animation used for this new season. I myself actually do like it. The animation is perfect for more fluid motions and not really for stills like previous animation styles. This is something that is well shown in the battles, and while we've only had a few in these opening episodes, later episodes will show off how magnificent the battles can become. The Canopy effect did 2 episodes breaking down the animation used for the series, and I'll be linking them below for those of you curious for those breakdowns. Another thing that detractors of the season like to say is, well, Ash. X and Y Ash felt more like a more mature, serious Ash, the culmination of his previous experiences as a trainer, while Ash here feels more jovial and trout-like. Honestly, this Ash is if like Ash reverted back to his character from the original Kanto seasons, and maybe Johto, but any lacquer characterization is just gone. So yeah, that all kind of fits, but honestly, his character now fits a lot better with this, well, the feel of the season, instead of his character in the previous arc. Now, honestly, this is kind of annoying, Ash having to go backwards in character development, but again, I could never imagine stern and focused X and Y Ash getting along well with the more chill season that is Sun and Moon. While not impossible, his sheer mindedness towards a goal would have him running from island to island in pursuit of the island challenge and Z moves, while this Ash is more to just having random adventures while still wanting to chase his dream. Overall, it's different. Not bad, but different. Honestly, it takes some getting used to it if you're coming off the previous seasons. As for supporting cast, they're fine. Our introduction to them in episode 2 does a great job at showing their characters and quirks, and giving you a good little bit of understanding them individually. The ones given a lot of focus stand out in these episodes are Kiyaway and his relation to Z-Rings and Z-Moves, and Lily showing off her intelligence as well as her little quirk of being freaked out by Pokemon. Having Kukui serve as a teacher also works well, with the weakest character amongst the bunch being Samson Oak. I didn't mention him much because he has one really annoying joke where he makes terrible puns, and that's honestly this character in a nutshell, various bad puns. Team Rocket also gets probably one of their best introductions into a series to date. They're, well, quick and into it. They pretty much are given a job and go about it. It's honestly interesting to see them try not to follow Ash this time around and just happen to run into him, as I feel they're more successful when they avoid Ash in question. Meaning that if they have a lot less interaction with Ash, they could actually be more successful as a group of evil villains. Aside from that, these episodes work well introducing the series to a new and returning audiences, keeping a quick and enjoyable pace while showing off the new standard. Overall, they do well with the new stuff, but it's a much slower start than previous seasons, which again works best for this season with its more chill flow. If I had to compare it to anything, I'd say it's a better done version of the Black and White opener episodes. Okay, allow me to explain that line. Basically what I mean is if we remove the element of Zekrom in the opener, the biggest stakes in the first 2 episodes of the Black and White anime is Ash's battle with Trip. Here it's a similar case, but in this case you're just removing the element of Ash's battle with Trip and Zekrom, and instead just having Ash want to be a better trainer as well as learning Z moves. That's what I mean. Again, It just works for this. You're given a goal. In the original, in black and white, it was, well, Ash has to grow stronger. And this, it's Ash wants to learn Z moves. Again, it works for what this series is. Honestly, if you ask me, I prefer these episodes to black and white's episodes. It's only because I feel there's a better flow here, and we don't have the Deus Ex Zekrom that allowed Pikachu to lose to Snivy, and then get his electric powers back at the end anyway. Yeah, overall, this works well for this season, setting the pace, tone, and everything else about it, similar to what a series opener should do. With that said, this is the end of the episode. I hope you all enjoyed this little thing. I'm going to be, again, as I said earlier, looking at all the episodes, if not most of the episodes of this season, and maybe I'll look at some past seasons if you guys want me to. If you want to, stay in touch, this like, subscribe thing. I also do Let's Plays and whatnot on this channel, as well as any other random thing that pops to my mind. If you want to follow me personally, I have a Twitter, which I'm frequently on. If not talking, I am often just retweeting things I find interesting. And also, I have a Tapas if you enjoy reading books. I have a Tapas with stuff on it, a DeviantArt where you can read stuff too, but it often links back to Tapas stuff. And I also have a Twitch I need to get back into for live streaming purposes. So, yeah, if you want to follow me on some other websites, there you go. But this is the last I see of you to steal a thing from the professional shitbag. I hope you all have a really good day, and I'll see you all next time as we continue on this little Pokemon adventure of ours. Till then, everybody.